What's going on, Geminites? Gem Mint here with the DC comics from this week. Most of you guys may know my shot was shorted on the DC book, so the new comic book day reviews that I normally do only had the Marvel stuff and the independent stuff. But I finally was able to pick up the DC books, and I figured I would drop a little video today. And this should be the last time that this kind of thing happens. Before we jump into the reviews, check out our sponsor, that's SpiderManBooth.com. They sell $30 mystery boxes where you get 5 comics of retail value. You can save $10 if you use the code GemMint at checkout as a one-time use. The giveaway prize, or the GP, is this amazing Spider-Man issue 1, graded at a 1.8 by CGC. This is the first printing original ASM1. So one of those mystery boxes is going to include this GP, and this runs from today, Saturday, until Wednesday. So check out that SpiderManBooth.com and use the code GemMint at checkout. All right, guys, I thought it would be fun to check out what books I didn't read and what I didn't pick up before we jump into these. So I didn't grab Wonder Woman 768. I kind of dropped Wonder Woman after reading a few issues after, I think, 750, and I just wasn't into it. So I didn't pick up Wonder Woman. American Vampire 1976, issue 3. I stopped reading this after issue 2 because I just felt a little lost having not read the first volume. I have the omnibus. Maybe this is something that I'll come back to once I read the Omni. So didn't pick up that by Scott Snyder. I didn't pick up DC's Very Merry Multiverse issue 1. I just didn't really want to read a holiday special type of book, so didn't pick that one up. And I didn't pick up Sweet Tooth. As big of a Jeff Lemire fan as I am, that's another one. I didn't read the first volume, and I have the book, so I didn't want to jump into it kind of not knowing the history there. So not a lot of DC books that came out, and those were the few that I didn't pick up. The first one we'll talk about is Batman Black and White issue 1, and this is like one of 3 trade paperback sized books that came out this week. This has a bunch of short stories. I think you have some by Paul Dini, might even be one by Scott Snyder or James Tynion, I think it was. I wasn't really into this book. I think if you're just a huge Batman fan, the artwork is great. They even had one with Trav Moore, who did Silver Surfer Black. I think that was the one with Tynion. The story was okay. None of the stories really blew me away. I think you'd have to be like a huge fan of the original Batman Black and White, but I wasn't really digging it, to be real. Then let's talk about this Endless Winter. This is the Flash issue 767. You have Landing in Mars with Henry, Satucci, Mayalo, and Prianto. So this is what's happening with the Flash during this Endless Winter event. And it's kind of interesting how the cold of the Earth is really affecting the Flash with his speed force and kind of making him feel slower. So this kind of is his journey to try to address Black Adam. Black Adam and his crew, if you guys remember from the first issue, have kind of been the villains, not like the major Frost King villain, but kind of like the bad guys in this story. So Flash goes to check him. It's okay. I mean, this Endless Winter story is not really my favorite. It's kind of like a typical cliche Frost Giant, Frost King, almost Game of Thrones kind of winter is coming type of story. But it was an okay read. And then we also got part 3 today with the Superman Special issue 1. I guess Landing in Mars, the same crew. They did this Superman tie-in, I guess because, it didn't want to affect Bendis' run. This was pretty interesting. This was Superman trying to come to terms with the fact that he's not able to beat this endless winter. He doesn't really know where the source is, although we do get some backstory on who the Frost King is in the beginning of this, which is pretty cool. Kind of goes back some decades into like almost medieval times or what have you. Seems like he is a metahuman from back in the day that has this frost powers, and they're controlled by emotion, and if he loses control, you can guess what happens. Also very cool how Superman uses technology from the Legion of Doom, from where his son is from, with 31st Century, in order to kind of like save as many people at once by being in the same place at the same time. I think it was the best part of Endless Winter so far. Then we have Detective Comics 1032. This is by Tomasi, Walker, Hennessy, and McCaig. Hushed Little Robin. So I feel like Detective Comics is underrated, man. I feel like people are sleeping on this book. I really enjoyed this issue. As you can see from the cover, we get the return of Hush, and he has all of the Bat family trapped. Batman is out here trying to find Damian Wayne. They have this big beef, in the storyline so far. So this is all about Batman finally realizing that the Bat family is in trouble and he's on his way to save them. So, I mean, great artwork, great story. Like I said, I think sometimes I like this one better than the main Batman ongoing. Then we have Tales from the Dark Multiverse. This is Flashpoint. This is by Hitch, Curie, Hannah Sinclair, and Skipper. So, another like trade paperback size book, a little bit of an oversized book, and they have been doing a lot of these Tales from the Dark Multiverse, which are basically like DC's versions of What If, especially in the sense that they're all like, what if the worst possible case scenario happened? So this one is like, instead of Thomas Wayne helping Barry Allen get his Flash powers back, it brings in Reverse Flash, and then the timeline skews where Reverse Flash is basically the main character of this story, basically just messing with this timeline so that he can own America. So interesting story. I like this. I'm a sucker for what ifs, and I think these books are cool. I haven't been picking up all of them. Like the next one is the Wonder Woman War of the Gods what if. I'll probably skip that one, but I was digging the Flashpoint one. And lastly, another death metal tie-in. This is the last stories of the DC universe. Again, this is a trade paperback size book. It has multiple creative teams here. You had a Jeff Lemire story for Green Lantern. You had a Gail Simone story for, is it Aquaman or whose was hers? Green Arrow. So basically this is just a short glimpse into each of these DC characters on their last day on Earth. Everybody assumes that tomorrow it's the end of the world. Either Batman Who Laughs or Perpetua is going to win, and either way they're going to destroy everything. So it's kind of like, you got 24 hours to live. Who are you spending your last time with? What are you doing? Not really necessary for the main story to understand. Kind of just, gives you a little bit more depth into these characters and what their thoughts are heading into the final battle for the end of this miniseries. I haven't really been a huge fan of death metal. I think it's kind of really all over the place, even though I think that's the point. But it was an okay read, just not necessary for the main story. A little post-edit addition to the video here. So I'm going to give my pick of the week to Crossover Issue 2 by Donny Cates. I just think that was the most interesting, the most explosive issue this week. I did do a solo video on that, so you can check that out here. Also, man, we are less than 700 subscribers away from our 100,000 subscriber milestone. We're giving away a ton of gifts, anywhere from a life-size Nano Gauntlet by Hot Toys, an XM Studios Joker Orochi, a Figurama 1/6 scale diorama of Thor Ragnarok, PCS Collectibles 1/3 scale Rambo, plus sealed Marvel Omnibus gift cards, and more. All you got to do is be subscribed to the channel and leave a comment below. Once we hit the milestone, we're going to pick random videos where I promoted the giveaway and draw winners based on a YouTube random comment generator. You can be worldwide, any age, just got to be subscribed and comment. All right, guys, so those are the DC Comics for this week. Like I said, next week we should be back to normal, although I still do think I'm going to make solo videos highlighting my favorite issues and issues that I want to talk spoilers on. Also, our Vampirella variant, we just broke 75 backers, man. We're over 5K, and we're steady, but we're moving. So if you want to support our first ever exclusive variant cover, check out the Indiegogo campaign in the description below. You can just get the regular cover. You can get CGC. You can get statues if you'd like. So support your boy if you enjoy the channel, and pick up that first ever GemMint exclusive. I appreciate you watching. Check out my other new comic book day reviews in the playlist to the right, and stay minty fresh. Peace.